Ambassador to the United States Nations from 2005 to 2006, and as a 26th United States National Security Advisor from 2018 to 2019. And this is where he worked under Trump. This is a critical component right here. So roughly 1 year. Bolton served as the United States Assistant Attorney General for President Ronald Reagan from 85 to 89. He served as the State Department, served in the State Department as the Assistant Secretary of State for International Organization Affairs from 89 to 93, and the Undersecretary of State for Arms Control and International Security Affairs from 2001 to 2005. He was an advocate for the Iraq War as a director of the Project for the New American Century. Now, PNAC, okay, guys? PNAC, guys. You guys are wondering, the Project for New American Century, PNAC, was a neoconservative think tank based in Washington, D.C. that focused on United States foreign policy. Was established as a nonprofit educational organization in 1997 and founded by who? William Kristol and Robert Kagan. Yes, chat, every single time.
Every single time, every single crime, every single lie.
So, when you guys talk about going to war with Iraq, okay, the people that were involved in getting us into war with Iraq, John Bolton was a big part of it, as well as Robert Kagan, Bill Kristol, Wolfowitz, Douglas Feith, a lot of these guys, man. Most neoconservatives, let's just be honest here. A majority of them. John Bolton is one of the few that was not one of them, but he is a hardcore Zionist, your boy John Bolton. He is one of the most aggressive war hawks on the Middle East by fucking far. This guy was telling Trump to bomb Iran back in 2016, bro. Telling him to bomb back in 2016. So, this is who John Bolton is, just so you guys understand. Okay? Yeah. Anyway. So he got raided by the FBI. As you guys know, him and Donald Trump don't really like each other like that. You know, John Bolton has been extremely critical of your boy Donald Trump as of late, especially with his, views with Russia. John Bolton, as you guys know, like I said before, is a war hawk, but he doesn't really believe in diplomacy, if we're going to be honest. Okay, and he does not like Putin at all. Okay, he looks at Trump as basically being weak for trying to exercise diplomacy with Putin, and he's been extremely critical of him. So we're going to go ahead and cover both CNN and Fox News coverage of this, because you guys know I like to cover both sides of, media, both left-wing and right-wing. So let's go into it.
We learned just moments ago, according to a source, that the FBI conducted a court-authorized search at the...
Which basically means they got a search warrant, and we're going to talk about that a little bit as well.
Home of John Bolton as part of a national security...
And if I'm not mistaken, this was on Friday morning.
...investigation. John Bolton, former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, former national security advisor under the first Trump administration, a frequent critic of late of President Trump, a frequent...
Yeah, they don't like each other at all. And this also came from your boy John Bolton releasing a book. So for those of you that don't know, your boy John Bolton wrote a book. It's called The Room Where It Happened, a White House memoir, okay? And this book, right, allegedly had classified information in it, right? And it went through, anytime you're a former government employee and you write a book that, might contain stuff that's classified, you have to go through like a review board. And he had put it through a review board, and they said, hey, you need to take this stuff out or whatever. And apparently the original version, which had some of the classified stuff in it, leaked, right? And they convened a grand jury about this back in like 2020, and he didn't get indicted. Right? He did not get indicted back in 2020 because of this. So now, 5 years later, right, for them to be doing a search is raising quite a bit of questions.
Reasoning the Justice Department and the FBI would give the court for conducting that national security search, still a huge... Basically,
very similar to what Donald Trump himself got raided for a couple of years back, if you guys remember, at Mar-a-Lago. Now, I knew this was going to happen, right? And I made a tweet about this, actually. So I go here. Trump's release of the Ghislaine Maxwell interview and the raid on John Bolton's home both have horrible, terrible optics. I'm no fan of Bolton since he's a neocon war hog, but raiding his house right after he criticized Trump's Alaska summit screams politically motivated investigation. The timing is suspicious, especially since he dodged indictment nearly 5 years ago for his book that slammed Trump's foreign policy after being fired. This feels like deja vu. It's the same playbook they used against Trump with the Mar-a-Lago raid. It's starting to look like the beginning of endless lawfare targeting whoever leaves office. The Democrats kicked this off against Trump, and like it or not, he's coming for retribution. My take, I'm impartial, but Democrats take note. If you went after Trump, he's coming for you before this term ends. And bro, he is coming after them. Now, here's the thing. I knew he was going to go after them. I knew at some point I was like, bro, they made this guy's life hell. I remember when he was running the campaign in 2024, he was a man on a mission. Because guys, make no mistake about it. If Trump did not win the presidency of 2024, he would have went to federal fucking prison, bro. I'm telling y'all. He would have went to federal prison. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They would have gotten him on the document case by far. 100%. They would have got him on a document case. The reason why all the other charges pretty much got dropped is because your boy Jack Smith, the special prosecutor, basically left. Right? He resigned. And then Fannie Willis dropped the case, and then he got convicted in the New York case. Right? So he would have went to prison, guys, if he didn't win the presidency. So don't forget, man. I know it was 3 years ago. People forget. But they made his life hell, man. I remember watching him age very quickly during that process. So he's going to go after all these people that try to kill him. Because he would have died in prison, bro. And you guys can see right now, Trump's health is not the best. His hands are swelling. His ankles are swelling. They're saying that he has like a heart problem. His health is not too good right now. So, yeah. And it's beginning. It's starting sooner than I thought. I'll be honest with y'all. I didn't think he was going to start going after his political rivals until like maybe the last year. I was like predicting like maybe third or fourth year, he was going to start going after his political rivals and getting revenge on all those that tried to destroy him 3 years ago. But he's starting early, bro. He's starting early. And look, I'm not even mad because the Democrats started this shit, bro. The Democrats started the lawfare. They started it. As soon as they raided his house in Mar-a-Lago, they started it. So this is what I predict is going to happen. He's going to go after political rivals, right? Obama, the Bidens potentially, John Bolton, all these guys. He's going to go after them. And then he's going to pardon himself on the way out. And all of his family to make sure that they can't go after him. And he's going to make sure he uses the proper pen. That's what I think is going to happen, chat. He's going to go after all of his political rivals, bro. Because, again, we are operating like on 2020 hindsight now. Like, we remember, oh, yeah, he's out. He's good. He's president of the United States now. But a lot of you guys forget the hell that he was going through 3 years ago, bro. Imagine being indicted in 4 different jurisdictions, bro. 4 different jurisdictions, twice federally, and then 2 by the state. The fact that he escaped that in itself is a fucking miracle.
Question here, but this is a person that Donald Trump has been very much on the outs with since he wrote a book about his service.
Bro, I guess CNN hires anybody. Holy. At least Fox tries to get somewhat hot girls. God damn.
In the first Trump administration.
What is this creature?
John Bolton was the national security advisor to President Donald Trump. At that time, Trump was very unhappy that Bolton was talking about things that Trump did that made Trump look very bad.
And it was in the book.
Publicly, ways that Trump himself handled other foreign leaders, national security, classified issues. And Trump at that time, back in 2020, was saying that John Bolton should face criminal problems for allegedly publishing classified information. Trump was saying that any conversation with him was classified and thus none of it should have been able to be revealed in John Bolton's book. That then led to a grand jury investigation of John Bolton in the District of Columbia's federal court. It resulted in no charges. So what?
Which tells you that the information was weak, guys, because it's pretty easy to get an indictment roughly. So the fact that they did not get a true bill tells you that they didn't have that much information.
What this is there a link to that situation? This is official that we know has a lot of classified information over his long tenured service in government. So John Bolton now being under investigation again after not being in government for several years. we are going to have a lot of questions going forward. I've reached out to John Bolton's attorney,
Well, yeah, he's obviously not going to talk to you.
handled his issues through the first grand jury investigation, and CNN reached Bolton directly this morning. Bolton said he was unaware of this FBI activity and was looking into it further. John.
All right, Caitlin Polans for us, digging on this in Washington as this information continues to come in. One point Caitlin's making there. John Bolton had high-profile lawyers the first time around. He himself, a very accomplished lawyer as well.
Yeah, I mean, he was the #2 at the Department of Justice during the Reagan era, guys. He was literally Todd Blanche's equivalent today.
Just to keep in mind.
And Todd Blanche, for those of you that don't know, is Trump's defense attorney, who is now under Pam Bondi as the Deputy Attorney General for the United States. He was the one that actually interviewed your girl, Ghislaine Maxwell, which we're going to talk about that a bit later as well.
And those critics and supporters of him would both, I think, concede that point.
Yeah, and remember, it was since Trump came into office, he also stripped Bolton of a security clearance as well. This is not the first
And he took his Secret Service security detail as well.
time that they've gone after him. I remember at the time, Bolton, I think he kind of laughed about it because it wasn't as if he was looking for going to be leaning on that anytime soon. But let's continue covering this breaking news. Andy McCabe is sticking with us. Megan Hayes, David Urban, Caitlin Polans here as well. David, I was just looking back to just last week because John referenced it, which is the president was very unhappy with John Bolton and what he was saying, his take and his analysis of the president's meeting with Putin. I'm going to read this for you. This is what President Trump put out on social media. This was just a week ago on August 13th. Very unfair media at work on my meeting with Putin, constantly quoting fired losers and really dumb people like John Bolton, who just said that even though the meeting is on American soil, Putin has already won. What's that all about? That clearly, John, what do you think it is about John Bolton that gets so under Donald Trump's skin?
Well, he clearly doesn't agree with the president. He clearly, attacks him on a wide variety of fronts, some justified, some perhaps not. But it's been pointed out, this doesn't stem, I don't believe, from this past week. I think this stems going back to 2020 when John Bolton published this book and the manuscript was leaked after the National Security Council told Bolton's lawyers that it could not be published because
Yeah, so they had to remove parts of the book. Now, anytime you want to put out a book like this, right, of you know, when you worked in government service, you dealt with classified stuff, you have to, have a review board look at it. Then they go through and they see what's, possible.
and there was a lot of questions. And so I think this is, 100% about that and not so much about the most recent brush up between John Bolton and the president.
No, but the timing, I think, will be called into question, given, of course, that John Bolton hasn't held a government job in years and years and years.
Yeah, since like 2019.
And it comes following some very public criticism from the president. Andy McCabe, to you, what does search mean? What are the types of things that are searched for when officers walk into that house?
Okay, so this guy's former FBI. They're going to go ahead and ask him some questions. I'm going to give you guys some commentary on top of what he says.
And in a normal FBI, in a standard FBI, what hurdles would you have to surmount in order to get to the point where you go to a judge to ask for this warrant?
Sure. So the court authorized activity, or however they're describing it, is only one thing. It means that the FBI has a search warrant, which means that agents who were already conducting an investigation assembled enough evidence together and presented it to a federal judge and convinced that judge that there is probable cause to believe that John Bolton's residence contains some evidence of a crime. Now,
I'm going to keep it all the way 1,000 with you guys. Remember, okay? The time that they could have got him was roughly 5 years ago with the release of this book, The Room Where It Happened. Okay? The fact that they couldn't get him 5 years ago and they're going after him now tells me the only way that they could have got a search warrant into this house, they got a fucking informant. There's no other way, chat. Okay? Now let's talk about this real fast. When it comes to search warrants federally, okay, there's a couple of different ways that you can get into a house. But the way that gets you in for the most part, especially when it comes to the federal system, is an informant. Now, why is it going to be an informant? The reason why it's going to be an informant, Chaz, is because with an informant, right, the informant is going to give you real-time information, okay? In order for you to get a federal search warrant, the probable cause, or the PC, needs to be fresh. Now, when it comes to the feds, you typically want 14 days. That 14 days basically means that the informant or wherever it was in the house or the cooperator, whoever the hell it was, right, saw evidence of the crime within 14 days of the feds coming in and kicking that door in. Okay? Because it is not easy, contrary to popular belief, to get a federal search warrant to search someone's house. Now, on top of that, not only are you searching someone's house, you're searching an attorney's house, you're searching someone who used to have a clearance, someone that used to work for the government. So whenever the government goes after people like this, right, the affidavit has got to be bulletproof, okay? Because you know that this individual is going to have, the AUSA knows that this individual is going to have the means, the resources, and the ability to fight whatever criminal probe comes their way. So these search warrants need to be tight. So the fact that they went ahead and they got a search warrant for his house 5 years after the fact, there's no way that they got in there without an informant. There's no way. All right, now we can go to Fox News. Since you guys love Fox News.
Live, that's video. David Spunt joins us now with more on this breaking news. Hey, David.
Hey, good morning. We believe John Bolton was home. We're told that he is not in custody and he's not under arrest. The FBI not commenting, the Justice Department not commenting, but two senior government sources say that FBI agents are looking specifically for classified documents that may have been classified. Now, this is a live look at the street where this is all going down just outside Washington, D.C. in Maryland. It's unclear how long this raid will take place, but FBI Director Kash Patel put out a cryptic post on social media this morning, and Attorney General Pam Bondi.
It's kind of funny because he said no one is above the law, and some community noted it, man. Let me see if I can find it for you guys. It's kind of fucking funny. And they were asking him about that fucking Israeli that got away, as you guys know. Let me find it for you guys real fast.
Followed up with it. He says no one is above the law, FBI agents on a mission. Then she followed up talking about accountability. America's safety isn't negotiable. Justice will be pursued always. So it's not clear exactly how many documents they may be looking for, but we are told Bolton is not in custody. What's unclear, though, if he's being cooperative or not. We know, I said this about 20 minutes ago when I was on the air, his security clearances and his security detail that he had, a government subsidized security detail, was stripped by President Trump. He said that it was unnecessary. Bolton says that he is at risk from the Iran regime of potential assassination attempts or other sorts of plots. We've not yet heard from Ambassador Bolton, who served as President Trump's national security advisor in the first administration, but he's out there. He's been on TV recently. He just did an interview on another network a couple of days ago. A couple of weeks ago, he said on another network that he believes that the Justice Department is out for retribution and vengeance, and he believes that he will be a target. 2 weeks later, we see the FBI now gathering at his home in Bethesda, Maryland. But I want to point out that, this is very early in the process. We know that a magistrate judge would have had to sign off on this. The FBI doesn't just unilaterally decide to go into someone's home. Then this evidence, after it's analyzed, will be taken to a grand jury, and a grand jury will decide if there is enough evidence for federal charges. Guys.
David, have we seen them come out with anything? We keep seeing FBI agents going in. They've been there since 7, so an hour and 3 minutes. Have they retrieved anything?
I have not seen anybody come out with anything on camera yet, but we're told, yes, they are inside looking at documents. They will.
But I will give credit to FBI in this case where they've lowered the street crime down. I'll give them credit for that. Because the thing is that Bongino and Kash Patel have basically dragged the FBI out. Because a lot of the times, I'll keep it 1,000 with you guys. As someone that used to work with the FBI quite a bit, a lot of them are lazy. A lot of them don't go out. They don't hit the fucking streets. They don't do surveillance. They don't arrest people. They don't do shit. They're not on task forces. They're just chilling, fucking beating off in the back. Want to be home by 5 o'clock and shit like that. A lot of these guys are like just desk agents. Don't do shit, right? So what Bongino and Kash Patel basically did was he was like, yo, you guys got to fucking go out and do shit, bro. Like, you guys got to be out making arrests. You guys got to do shit. So Violent crime has went down quite a bit because they're really targeting street crime and really targeting gangs and putting them on every fucking task force. So I will say that that's a good thing that Bongino and Patel have done. Obviously, you know, that's a W on their end. But the L is that they're, you know, the Epstein files, bro. Epstein files, like, big black eye for the administration, man. Big black eye for the administration.
Be leaving with boxes. I just have not personally seen anybody walk out with boxes, but we're told, yes, they are. And
yeah, I've seen them take some stuff.
And they may be looking at other sites connected to Ambassador.
And yo, when they got a search warrant for documents, bro, they can fuck the house up, man.
Bolton.
They're looking for thumb drives, computers, laptops, phones.
As far as any other people that may be targeted today, one senior official that I spoke to that has been briefed on this says it does not appear that that is so. It appears right now, and I want to always couch that it appears as of 8:03 in the morning that this is the only person that would be involved today, the only target involved today. So that
these walls that are put up, it have separate teams to minimize any intrusion into privileged or protected areas.
Bam, there you go. And that's the taint team versus the criminal team. So the guys on the taint team are not going to be testifying. They're not involved in the case. They're literally there to ensure that the privileged information doesn't touch the information that could be used in a criminal case. Everything that's correspondence with lawyers protected can't be used against them.
Yeah, Jonathan, I remember when Mar-a-Lago was raided and Melania had said that they even went through her closet, they went through her drawers. It can be very intrusive, but I know when you're the FBI and you're looking for...
Oh yeah, they're going to go through everything, bro. They're going to go through everything.
For any evidence, you have to look everywhere.
And they fuck your house up too. They fuck your house up too. So...
Have you been briefed on the FBI raid of John Bolton?
No, I don't know about it. I saw it on television.
Come on, man. He had to have known about it.
This morning, I'm not a fan of John Bolton. He's a real sort of a lowlife.
Do you expect the DOJ to brief you on this?
Yeah, they'll brief me probably today sometime.
And the foreign minister.
I tell Pam and I tell the group. I don't want to know, but just you have to do what you have to do. I don't want to know about it. It's not necessary. I could know about it. I could be the one starting it. I'm actually the chief law enforcement officer, but I feel that it's.
They ran with that one. They got mad when he said that. When he said he's the chief law enforcement officer.
It's better this way.
Here with reaction, Fox News contributor and former FBI special agent Nicole Parker and Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett. Thank you both for joining us this evening. I want to start with you, Nicole. Could you begin by kind of walking us through the process by which FBI agents obtain a search warrant to go into John Bolton's house this morning?
Absolutely. First of all, there has to, there's something that the FBI has that would lead them to believe that a crime may have been committed. And again, they take all of the evidence that they have, and the FBI agent assigned to the investigation will gather that. They'll come up with an affidavit, a probable cause statement. They work with the federal prosecutor or the AUSA, and they take all of that information and they go before a magistrate judge.
Yeah, so they're going to write up an affidavit, and in an affidavit, they're going to put out all the probable cause, which, like I explained to you guys before, that probable cause is going to probably have to be heavily reliant upon an informant, because you're going to need real-time information that shows that evidence of a crime is going to be located at this residence, and 9 out of 10 times that's going to be informant information. That's why I'm so confident that the reason why they were able to get in there on a case like this, which is kind of old, to be honest with y'all, when it comes to the book, they had to have had timely information based off informants, because even if you got him on surveillance, unless they got him on surveillance where they know that he had classified information and they watched him pick up the classified information and go home and then go to his house with the classified information, that's another way. But I doubt that that's what they did, because that would require 24-hour surveillance, and they would need to know that whatever he has in his hand is a classified document. That'd be a lot harder to establish. So what I'm willing to bet is there was an informant involved, 100%.
And then the magistrate judge reviews the affidavit, and the FBI agent raises their right hand under oath. They take an oath. They swear that everything in there is true to the best of their knowledge. And then
And then the agent signs it and the judge signs it.
The judge reviews the information and they determine whether or not they believe that there's probable cause that this information is correct and that a crime was committed.
Well, they don't tell you to raise your hand until they think that it's enough. If it's enough, then that's when they tell you this. You could tell this chick didn't really write a lot of affidavits. And be honest with y'all, a lot of FBI agents don't. I've told you guys this before. I'll say it again. A lot of FBI agents don't make a criminal arrest until 5 years into their career. A lot of them don't write an affidavit or a search warrant or a criminal complaint until years into their career. You know, a typical FBI agent, especially like in a slow field office, like a Washington, D.C. or some shit like that, might not make a criminal arrest until they're years on a job, which is fucking comical. Because I remember I was making criminal arrests my first fucking a few weeks on the border. And there's a difference between starting your career with HSI on the Southwest border versus like starting your career with the FBI in like a slower interior office somewhere.
I mean, given that Bolton was national security advisor and privy to a stream of classified material on a daily basis, seems to me there are three legal possibilities. He might have illegally removed and stored national defense documents or classified intel in an unsecured place, like a home or office. Number two, he may have leaked to someone classified information, or his controversial book back in 2020 may have contained classified material, even though he said it did not. So, you know, the FBI was searching for incriminating or corroborating documents, such as, you know, hard copies, notes, communications, electronic records. But look, you know, it was always foolhardy for Bolton to write this tell-all book. And when the government tried to stop him, a federal judge admonished Bolton to his face, saying, "You are gambling with national security, you're causing potential irreparable harm," and sternly warned him, "You could be criminally prosecuted." Well, Bolton didn't care. He went ahead with a book, which seems to me, as a lawyer, a reckless risk.
So, Nicole, tell us about, you did such a good job of explaining how the agents got to where they were this morning. What can we expect going forward? We will eventually see a lot of the information, like a list of things that the FBI obtained here. That may be a matter of weeks. Explain all of that to us.
Okay, so after they're done executing the search warrant and they seize the items that they're going to take, they leave behind what is called an FD-597, and that's a property. Now
that's their document, right? That's an FBI document, but they're also going to leave the official a copy of the search warrant as well and what they took, which is like, you know, you could put an inventory list, but the FBI has their own form that they leave. But if you don't have that form, if you're not with the FBI, other agencies just leave the search warrant and what they took, like a list of what they took, and then like the inventory.
Receipt form, and it literally lists every single item that the agents took. They sign off on that. They leave it at Bolton's home and his office, wherever they search, along with a copy of the warrant. And that is up to him if he would like to share that with the public, or his attorney would like to share that with the public. But don't expect the FBI to be sharing that information. They keep their information and investigations confidential. Right. And one thing, there's a few things I'd like to note real quick, Charlie. You know, people keep trying to compare this to the raid at Mar-a-Lago and other things that have happened in the past. Let me just tell you some of the differences. This morning, I didn't see any notification to CNN in advance or Fox News in advance showing up to the raid as we saw at Roger Stone's home. I did not see that, you know, there was a throng of SWAT agents there. And
yes, affidavits are public, but the thing is that this one is going to be sealed because the case is still ongoing.
SWAT team there. I did not see that. I did not see that there were documents that were staged on the floor with classified documents.
I wonder how long this chick was an agent for. Let me look her up. What's her name? Nicole Parker? I want to see which office. Okay, former FBI agent, Miami Division. Okay, so she came from Miami, recently testified over the experience of the FBI, fact off reported news outlets. She joined the FBI in 2011 and served until 2022. Okay. So she was there for 10 years. So Miami is a busier field office than other places. I wonder what squad she was in. So she just left. 12-year server graduation, January 2011, departure 2022, began her service, FBI's division, securities fraud and later. Okay, so yeah, securities fraud, they don't do shit. She went to violent crimes. Okay. Now, violent crimes, depending on what squad she was in, they work. They actually work. If she was like in a bank robbery squad or whatever, then yeah. Yeah, securities fraud, they don't do shit, bro. That's like financial crimes, they don't do shit. She might have got some action if she was in the violent crime squad, but it depends on which one.
Covers and then pictures taken and leaked to the media. I did not see that. Under this FBI, under Kash Patel, they are doing things with the utmost professionalism. This is not a political thing. This is actually gathering evidence and presenting it as it should be. And in the past administration and other FBIs, we have seen where it does appear to be quite political.
Right.
I don't know about you, but I didn't see that today.
Yeah, I'm so glad you made those very important points. Greg, along those lines, there's no doubt that there was an entire deep state that was pitted against the former president when this happened to him. Do you feel confident that John Bolton's rights will be protected in this process?
Oh, I absolutely think so. I in Pam Bondi to ensure that this is being done legally and by the book.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to cross their they're going to cross their T's and dot their I's on this one because, like I said before, obviously this is a individual who has money, who has access to lawyers. He's a lawyer himself. He's not stupid. He's been through this before. They convene a grand jury against him. So the AUSAs and agents on this case are going to be super fucking thorough to ensure that if they do indict him, that they got an airtight case. So yeah, they're going to do everything above board here. They have to. They have to.
Forget, Charlie, that the FBI and the DOJ were already investigating Bolton back in 2020, but it was apparently then scuttled by Biden's Department of Justice. So the case may simply be a resurrection, and today's raid was the next step. There may already be a grand jury, which doesn't mean he'll be charged, but, it doesn't surprise me. Bolton has always been this verbal flamethrower, with more enemies than friends, fueled by what everybody describes as a superiority complex. And that kind of arrogance tends to put you in legal jeopardy if you cross the line. And even if Bolton excised classified material from his book, possessing its original source material in your home or office, well, that's a felony, and concealing it is obstruction. And Bolton no longer has security clearance, but even if he did, it's criminal to remove it from secure facilities and store it in your home. Just ask former CIA Director David Petraeus, who got nailed criminally for that.
Indeed.
And Trump would have gotten nailed for it as well, but obviously became president of the United States.
To say the very least, John Bolton has become deranged over Donald Trump. Nicole Parker, Greg Jarrett, thank you so much for that.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.